day 2 out with the guys and the pans. We are planning a little route today. We did about 120 miles yesterday, and today we have found a little quarry area on a reservoir not too far away. So it's mid Wales, further towards the coast, so over to the west. And we're going to just go there, set up a little bit of base camp and play around, try and learn some practicing on the slides, stationary turning of the bike, have some playing, picking up, and just have a little bit of fun. Not try and do too many miles, just enjoy pushing these bikes and seeing how much fun we can have, basically. So that is the plan. We're about to put some chain lead on, we're all kitted up, and we're going to head out. And we've got a dry day by the looks of it. I don't want to jinx it because we are in Wales, so it could change at any moment, but there might even be a threat of blue sky today.
Is that a video?
It is now. Is that working? That's not working, is it?
Sorry, I put it on my knee.
I've got it on my
Oh, this looks so sketchy. Because it's going to fall off the stand, doesn't it? It's going to roll forward on the stand.
Centre stand.
It's got a centre stand. Come on, kids. Oh dear, it's our first rodeo.
Like,
Okay, well that was really easy. Look at that, look.
Centre stands are great adventure. You do it yourself now.
Oh dear.
now you can put it in gear and run it.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty easy. I love that we're trying to do some fancy lean over thing and it's got a centre stand. There's a reason.
Yeah. I'm not used to centre stands.
I personally, centre stands scare me. We should try that thing we did
Yeah, the
on
roll
the
of
Royal
centre stands.
Enfield.
Yeah.
So there's another video on my channel you can see where Mav and I went on Royal Enfields down in Devon, Dorset.
Yeah.
And basically you have to try and ride off the centre stand. We could try that on this.
We're totally doing it today.
Probably a good moment to give you a bit of my, not first impressions, because I did ride this on the press launch, so you can see my very first ride review on my YouTube, but it's really like my end of day 1 doing some really fun green laning here in Wales. And I guess the key takeaways for me is that the fact that this bike really can do what Harley-Davidson are telling us it can do. It is super fun on the road. There is quite a lot of torque and power in there, and I mean quite a lot being like a lot. I think Harley-Davidson are relatively well known for their torque. I know my street bob off the line is pretty fiery. I do have a street bob, by the way. And so on the road, that is a really fun thing to have. For me, sport mode is my favourite mode. I did put it in raid mode yesterday when we had a little bit of water on the ground, and it's quite impressive how much it kind of tightens up but goes gentle on you. So everything's a bit more forgiving, everything's a little bit slower, just to help you cope with that sort of wet condition. So sport mode is my favourite. It stiffens the whole thing up, gives you most lively throttle that you can have. And then when you turn to the off-road, you pop it into the off-road mode and it turns that power into a really manageable but not intimidating force. It doesn't seem to hamper it. It's not like it's going, right, you don't need any of this power. Like, the power's still there, but it's controllable for the off-road environment. It doesn't feel like you're going to suddenly end up in a ditch. It's got the good traction. I did make sure I turned traction control off. Similar to some of the other adventure bikes that I've ridden, if you've got traction control on and you're trying to go up a little slippery rut, you can really feel it turning off. And taking the throttle away from you, so turning that off meant that it powered on through. I think the biggest thing for me that's a little bit of a sticking point is the weight of the bike. Now, Harley have put the massive V-twin super low in here, and so it doesn't feel heavy when you get on. In fact, it's actually, okay, it's on the high centre stand right now, but it's actually quite a low weighted bike. When you first get on it, it doesn't feel heavy top end kind of tank weight. When you're riding it, it doesn't feel heavy, but when it's on its side on the ground, I'm, a 62 kilo female. It is a very big bike to pick up. And I think if I was to live and own and run this bike long term, it would put me in a position where I'd maybe avoid the really technical off-road riding to try and remove risks of me being on its side because it's so heavy. But it's not a downer as far as the riding. It can do it. And we hit some really cool kind of terrain yesterday. I'm excited to see what today brings. I will give you a little bit more thoughts as we carried on riding. But so far, it's a really fun bike. It's set up for adventure, road and off-road, and we're having a blast.
Just give it a good yank. Go on, that's it, there it goes. And again. There you go.
Yes!
Boom.
Now we're gonna see if Mav can do it. Oh, he's a shower. Basically driven straight past the door of Adventure Sweet Lamb, which is a place up in Wales run by Molly. We thought we'd stop in and say hi. He's not here, so we're going to get a sneaky photo and photobomb the place. But for anyone who's looking for a place to do big bike adventure riding, a bit of training, then this is a wicked place to look for, because they've got like 700 acres, all the bikes. They even have Louise for dedicated female one-on-one stuff. Yeah, this is a great spot, but they're not here. So Molly, we were here, we tried to say hi. So cool.
I think that's his best trait.
There you go.
So what's the plan?
So,
Stop for a coffee, vital part of day tick.
Caffeine.
100% important.
Yeah.
Up the trail that leads out the back of here through the forest, and then we're going to go around a little hill, and then it drops into a fairly loose, rocky descent.
And that's how you neglect to
what's-
mention the size of the rocks and the depth of the
Yeah,
puddle.
what's that downhill like?
It's loose. There's some decent steps.
Okay. Oh, so this is going to be a bit...
And there's a couple of channels, and the rocks are like head size.
Oh, head size.
Yeah, we're going to say baby heads, but apparently baby heads are not this big. So maybe Mav head size.
Okay. Oh God, map head size.
Yeah,
That's the new metric.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to be taking that pretty steady.
yeah. So it'll be a steady descent. Just
So that road was pretty fun.
this beautiful road.
Yeah,
that road
there
all the way
was
to
one particular corner that just went
long
round
right-hander.
and round. And
I
was
found the
like,
limit of the
"Oh."
knobbly at that point.
I don't know. I know. I pre-warned you kind of before you got on the pan that when you go into your first corner, know that it will behave slightly differently. But once you get used to how that bike feels, you really can put it into the corners.
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful. It's got all the power, dropping it down, pulling out, brakes really nicely.
I think it's the same the
Feels
first time.
solid.
You got to.
We've got to quite a technical section, to be honest. It's sort of a rocky slab. I'm not really sure if you can quite see how aggressive it is. I'll stand next to this step here to give you an idea. It's kind of knee height, and you know, they're quite big bikes. The bikes are very capable, and I have no doubt the bikes can do this. The challenge is the rider's skill in doing this. So we're trying to work out what is going to be the best line to get us down here.
So, right is the easier line at the end. The other one is in the middle in this. And then paddle it down through that middle crack.
My worry is the ground clearance.
Yeah.
That's quite a step.
So the other option is to take the track on the right.
Right, Seats is going to do it on the smaller KTM just to scope the line out. easy, and he was using his legs and he was on a smaller bike. I don't know about you, Mav, but that didn't make me more confident.
That has not inspired me, no.
No.
I was expecting him to just kind of rolling through it.
Yeah, like,
what's the drama?
Just riding it. I'm guessing I'm next. Okay, I'm thinking diagonally down, try and get to here and down there, because I'm worried about bottoming something that, or the step. Oh, this is scary! Ugh. Come on, Vanessa. In the crack. Right, Harley. Can we get to the bottom upright, please? That would make you very happy.
No dramas.
Yes! Oh man, Harley-Davidson! You just did a technical rock on... Oh my gosh! Oh, my heart is accelerating. My heart is really fast. Dude! We didn't fall in the crack! Woo! You got it, dude. Nice and steady. Yeah! 3 bikes. Bish bosh. He's gonna leave me hanging as well.
Yeah.
Successfully down the rocky thingy of thingy.
The first of them anyway.
Oh, this is the first of them. Oh, there's more. Oh. There's more of them apparently. First big adventure bike ride I did with HP Mav. He's one of the crew we've got here playing around. We had the Africa Twin, and next to a silage heap, Mav was like, right, let's teach you to do a sliding turny, power turny thing, which is what I'm about to try now. I rolled around in the mud basically and the poo, and I did kind of get it, but since then I've been trying to practice. My plan now is to see if I can apply that to the Pan America. The weight is quite low, but once you go past tipping point, that weight kicks in, and I'm going to have to get it pretty much to that tipping point to get it round and be confident with that. And now I'm just procrastinating because my heart's going really fast and I'm scared. The worst that's going to happen though is that I will go, oh gosh, and I'll lay it down on the side. Hopefully that's the worst. Oh, have I just jinxed myself? Get on with it, Vanessa. Done. I'm looking where I'm going. 1, 2, 3. Yes! I did it. It wasn't graceful, but I'm pacing the other way.
Good work. Boom.
I actually reckon, despite this bike being I don't want to say the number heavier than the Africa Twin we did it on last time. The weight's so low that I almost felt like that felt more manageable somehow.
Especially as the suspension lowers, and also because the seat's so low as well, it feels like it could be easier to then do it sitting on the bike. Whereas with a tall bike, it's really hard to get the bounce and the strength. It's a lot easier.
Well, so try it on the bike.
Yeah, if you're feeling super confident. We'll try it on a flatter spot.
We'll find a flat spot maybe. I can't promise this later in the video. I might get the courage to try it sat on the bike. The thing is, on my Husky, I can go round and round, but it's just such a small thing between your legs. With the drone chasing me, and I might have gotten stuck on my own, so I walked back to the others who were flying the drone. Basically, I tried to get on a step that was really big, and it was bigger than my skill on the Harley, so it's sitting on its stump guard. But I'm gonna get a ride back there for seats, and then we'll recover my bike. I could probably get it off on my own, but it's the risk of dropping it and messing around on my own. Sometimes with off-roading, it's not a solo sport. It's a sport to do with friends to help each other out, and so I'm gonna get my friends to help me out of it. Thank you, sir. That was a long walk. Okay, there is the troubled bike. It is quite stuck. But this is what I've just ridden down. You know, it's a bit sporty. He's sitting nicely there. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't try and push off because he sat like on the back of a rock.
Yeah, I don't think we want to push that off.
If I had noticed, I would have come where I am now because there's not a step here, but I was a bit too late in my lining and I went down the step and we decided to have a sit, didn't we? Didn't we, buddy?
Off the bike.
Yeah, I'm standing.
Drop the clutch.
Yeah, clutch is in. Do you want me to power? Because I can push it, I can line
That's
it.
an asshole.
I can like roll forward.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. That was far as John expected. Woo!
Wow. Oh my god. Stopped at the most incredible lake. There isn't a ripple on that. It's like a mirror. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What a pretty amazing location. It's just epic where you can go on two wheels. If I was on a motorbike, I can almost guarantee I wouldn't rock up at this lake. But while we've rocked up, I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about some of the things I particularly really love about this bike. Now, I'm at the end of day 2 off-roading, done some road. So the first thing is the comfort. It's got a ridiculously squidgy, comfortable seat. It just kind of cuddles your bottom and the riding position just feels right for my body. I do think that someone with really long legs might find it a little bit on the shorter side, but I have got it on the lowest seat setting. You can raise that seat up. You've got the fairing on the front as well, which is going to give you that touring protection, and it does feel like a very comfortable tourer without having like the mass and the volume of a big touring bike. And I think Harley have got that kind of comfort side really nicely balanced. Now, this is a standard special. The fact that it's got the big protection up front, the massive sump guard down at the bottom, has basically meant that I've been able to grab this bike and go off-road. Last week, I did actually do a big bike race on it, which was a little bit bold. The rider skill was the most complicated part of that, but the bike totally handled it. And I really didn't have to do much to it. And I think that's a great thing that Harley have made a bike that you can just change the tyres and have fun off-road. Another thing that's really coming through as an enjoyable feature of this bike is the torque. It's just got so much fun to play with, and it's just there and ready, and it's lively, feels really good. Kind of linking to that is the engine sound. There aren't many bikes out there that you ride and you don't think, oh, I'm gonna change the pipe. But this bike has a beautiful growl when you open it up. It's not loud as a bike though, which I think is quite nice. You know, when you're riding around little small villages like this in Wales, you don't want to be quite as loud as Mr. Seats on his KTM. He's very loud. But when you open this thing up, it's got a beautiful growl. So why don't we actually let you hear the engine? Let's do a little engine soundbite. Check she is in neutral so we don't accelerate her off into the lake. It's definitely in first gear, I can see there. So let's just pop it in neutral. And then the bike is warm already, worth mentioning. So it's not too loud and crazy. Let's just quickly put the mic. We're going to optimize this sound. Put the mic down here. Very weird using your left hand on a throttle. Right, cool. So I'll turn the engine off. We're still at a very sleepy, very tranquil lake, and there I am revving a Harley-Davidson engine. Bit silly. So we're gonna keep riding. We've got another day here. It's still giving me a thumbs up. There are a few little things that I think Harley need to integrate into the next generation design of this bike, and I'll probably chat through those with you tomorrow, so later on the video. So stay tuned, let me know in the comments if you're enjoying it, and let's get riding. Okay, we've got a little bit of a roadside drama. We have lost seats on the KTM. He was in front of us. I was messing around with my camera and he's disappeared. It's now getting dark and we legit can't find him. So we kept going to the point that we were like, we've gone too far. So now we're going back and looking off the road in case he's gone into a ditch. I'm starting to worry a little bit.
Me too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
I like it. So let's keep going back that way until where we know we last saw him. Can't even hear him. He's so loud. And then hopefully we'll find him, but not in a ditch. Okay.
Dude, I was properly scared.
We found him!
So,
What were you doing?
I was on the road coming up here. Before this turn, I looked over my shoulder, could see Vanessa's headlights there. I was like, cool. Went up here, sat just there, and you both rode past. I was like,
Why didn't you chase us?
so
I don't know, I didn't see you, man.
yeah, I know.
Didn't see you.
So I was like, right, okay. So I was fanning around, turning around, rode up there, and then you'd gone. And I was like, well, you could just keep following them, or they'll figure it out eventually. I was like, they've not figured it out for ages. So I was literally just saying, I was like, right, just put all your warm kit on and just go, because I know that you get to Taliban if you go to the end of the road. I was like, they must have just got to the village.
We thought you were going to ditch.
No, I was legit riding, standing up, looking down for you.
I was just sat there, I was like,
we knew
why did
that
you piss me?
we kind of knew you wouldn't turn off
Yeah,
without us knowing you turned off.
just sat there.
So we were like, he must be ahead, but we were like, we've got. He said the quarry was just around the corner, and we went way more. Than...
I look at the map thinking, they're going way past the quarry turn.
So I'm really glad you're not in a ditch.
I'm really glad too, man.
I was sat here and waiting. I was like, it's alright, they'll turn around. Oh, they're not turning around, right.
Okay, so it's now getting dark. Do you want to go to the quarry anyway?
So we can ride this trail. It rides down to a road eventually.
Yeah.
And then we just jump on the road and head back.
It's definitely getting dark, but we've just found this amazing quarry. So I think we're going to call it for today and come back here tomorrow. I think that's the plan. Right then, we are home. Whew. That was a good day.
Good day.
Good day, guys.
Boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Everybody's back alive.
Yeah. So what we got? 3 complete bikes, no breakages, no damage, and 3 working humans.
Yeah.
As much as they were at the start of the event.
Good point.
Right, it's morning 3. We've got to check out of the hotel, and we're too stubborn to walk up and down the stairs twice. So we have everything.
Full Sherpa mode.
Oh yeah.
Oh, who wants to see seats, Blossom?
Nobody.
Go on. Give us.
I missed it.
Do it again. Do it again.
I got scared by the audience.
So, yeah, we did have an audience.
Pressure.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. I think it's gonna be a good day 3.
It's going to be a good day.
Right, final day here in Wales with the pans. I'm just about to
get some lube on the bikes and then we're going to be heading out. So what can you expect from the rest of this video? We're going to be doing some power turn slides. Going to try and do a couple of different lift ups just to really get a grip of picking it up. Hopefully they won't be actual recoveries, but they may well be because we're going to head to the quarry. And I'm also still going to let you know some of the things I think Harley need to work on this bike, remembering that it is a first generation, so the other brands that we're comparing it to have had 20-30 years of development. So for a first bike, this really is cracking and I'm enjoying it, but there's always a little bit of room for improvement, so we'll chat through that. So let's get lube in.
Hello.
Mav.
Lube time.
Mav arrived just in time for the lube.
What are you doing, Vanessa?
Just hanging out.
You can't make this stuff up. We're surrounded by hairy cows and an epic lake. Hi. You need to look that way. In another absolutely incredible location in Wales. One of those places, again, that we just would never find ourselves ending up here if it wasn't for two wheels and where they take us, but it's absolutely incredible. Oh, hello, little sheep. What are you doing up there? Okay, so we're going to try a power turn. The only way to get better at things is to practice them, even if they scare you. So, I'm going to try another power turn with a Pan America. So, the ground around here looks relatively not okay as far as my little brain, but okay for the bike's capability. So, I'm going to turn the engine on.
And then deploy the MAV.
I don't know if that even counts. stability.
It's coming, that's it. Look around. Look.
Coming.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need a break. I'm puffing. It's quite physical, but it's only physical because I'm not doing it right. I know that once you get that technique, it's going to be like the most effortless way to turn a bike round, but I haven't got that technique yet. So, you know, I think that's good for today. It's quite intense on like the wrist,
Big old bike.
the hip. I also don't want to push my luck because, you know, I know the bike can lay down, and I've proven that it's okay to lie down, but I don't really want to purposefully start trashing it. It's a nice bike. We've just found a stretch of puddles, so Seats, how wet are your feet right now?
I've got 2 swimming pools.
I'm actually quite impressed. My little Dionysi boots, I've got dry feet. I feel a little bit damp, but I've got dry feet. The Harley's had a bit of a wash, and I made a deal with Mav that if I got him wet, I had to buy him lunch, but he looks like he's...
Failed miserably.
I'll buy you lunch anyway. How about that?
On the bottom of your cup.
On the bottom of the cup. Is it time to maybe talk about some of the things where this bike can maybe improve? I think it is.
Okay, I want to really emphasise that actually I think this is a freaking solid offering from Harley-Davidson. I'm not paid to say that. We have had an absolute blast here in Wales. We're coming to the end of day 3. But with all things, there's always room for improvement. So let's talk about those. And this is probably my biggest gripe. That thing rattles off as you're riding along. I'm having a little vent now. And you're constantly putting it back in. I get that it's meant to be the sacrificial lamb and it's meant to be giving you protection, but it's actually a little bit disappointing from Harley-Davidson. Thing I've got to remember when I think about this is I think the very, very, very large majority of riders that are wanting to go into an off-road adventure environment are going to be changing these. And that's a very similar story when you look at the key rivals. Most people put pretty solid aftermarket bark busters on. So it's not the end of the world, it's just a bit annoying. Okay, the screen is really good when you're riding along, but what I've noticed in the rockier off-road stuff is it does wobble a little bit. It just needs a little bit more of a solidness. I would have thought there's ways that you could fix that aftermarket, but I think Harley-Davidson probably need to look at that in version 2 of this bike, and I really hope there is going to be a version 2 because I do like this bike. The rear rack at the back, I did mention it when I had the little drop the other day, which we won't talk about. This is load rated to 2.5 kilograms, so I have strapped my bag to the mount underneath, but it's a very solid grab handle that you'd naturally go for if you're picking your bike up, but it's not actually strong enough. So it's kind of almost in the way. I think Harley, next time, make that strong enough to pick the bike up. Then we've got the kickstand. Now, I don't think there are many bikes that have incredible kickstands. I know that on my Husqvarna, you certainly wouldn't stand on your kickstand, but the kickstand on this gives you a little bit of an uneasy feel. Now, the reason for that, I think, actually links to the incredible progressive rider suspension. So the fact that it lowers down when you're stationary and rises up. In the lowered down position, you do have to get the bike quite upright to deploy the side stand. And that just means you've got quite a bit of weight. Once it's on a higher setting, it's easier to use. And because of the angle of it, I'll try and show you. I mean, right here, it's perfectly adequate, but in some positions, it doesn't go that far forwards. And so you've just got to make sure you planted it before you lean that bike over. And that's probably the key things that I would like Harley-Davidson to really look at. I don't think any of them are deal breakers as far as the overall performance on the bike. When you're actually riding it and hitting the trails, hitting the road, everything else feels really good. Particularly enjoyed the heated grips in the weather. It looks glorious in sunshine, but it is quite a bitter winter's day here in Wales. We've come to the end of the 3-day Welsh Pan America adventure, and is this the ultimate adventure bike? That is the question you're all asking. Now, I cannot tell you if this is the best bike for you. What I can tell you is that this bike does everything that Harley-Davidson say it can do. It is an all-round adventure bike, and I think the key thing for me is that out on the trails, it doesn't look like a Harley-Davidson in the mud. It looks like an adventure bike out there having fun, and that's a really important part for me. I've had a lot of fun. For me, stats less important. It's how much enjoyment you're going to have, how it makes you feel. I've really enjoyed playing around on this bike, both on the road and the off-road, and I think if this is the right bike for you, is going to be down to whether you like the looks of it and whether the capability of the bike is what you're after. Like, how much off-roading are you wanting to be doing? How much road time are you going to have? So my best recommendation is to get down to a dealer and get your bum in one. Try some of the other bikes that are out there as well, because it's a very personal decision which bike is going to be good for you. I can tell you from my opinion that this is a very valuable option in the adventure road market. There is going to be, if you're in the UK, a new Harley-Davidson Experience Centre opening with Mick Extance in North Wales in spring, so 2022. So you can actually have a go in one off-road before putting that money on the line. But anyway, I'm going to be heading back home now. I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Let me know in the comments. Please do hit subscribe. I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike here in Wales. I'm actually starting to sweat even though it is December in Wales. And that's me out on the Pan America.